Hello! Welcome everybody to Hancock Park's virtual experiences. Remember to join us every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 1 o'clock for different virtual experiences. So today I'm going to continue on with our space theme. So we're going to learn about Mars. So let's go ahead and travel on a mission to Mars. Okay? So I want you to put into your mind that you are now an astronaut. In the last century, Neil Armstrong became the first person to walk on the moon. In this century, you may become the first person to walk on Mars. Wouldn't that be amazing? So let's go ahead and use our imagination. Your spaceship will be launched from the International Space Station. It'll take over 6 months to go more than 300 million miles on a curved path from Earth to Mars. When you reach Mars, you and the other 3 people in your crew will transfer to the Mars Habitat Lander, right there. It would have been put into orbit around Mars months ago. It will become your station on Mars. So imagine that, all of that happening in the future. If you're an astronaut heading to Mars, you will get ready to take the lander down to the surface. Parachutes open to ease the landing. Engines that slow the ship are fired. They kick up a big cloud of dust and powder. After months of space travel, you are on Mars. The Mars station, where you will live for the next several months, is part of a lander. It has sections for living, sleeping, exercising, and storage, and a laboratory for conducting experiments. Imagine this. This is your whole house while you're living on Mars. There's bedrooms, a gym for exercising, a galley where you would eat, the laboratory, because of course you are a scientist, and all stuck in there together. Some time ago, cargo ships carrying food, air, and water landed nearby. The first job is to move some of the supplies from the cargo ships to the station. Each day, the crew uses about 100 pounds of food and water, so tons of it are needed. Luckily, gravity on Mars is only 1/3 as strong as the gravity on Earth. The supply packages that would be heavy on Earth, but here on Mars, you can lift them easily. So think about that. If you can pick up 25 pounds on Earth, you'd be able to pick up something that's 75 pounds on Mars. There's air inside the station for you to breathe, so you don't need to wear your spacesuit. Soon you are ready for bed. A Martian day is just a bit over 24 hours long, so the day-night cycle is about the same as here on Earth. At last, you can sleep lying down. During the long journey to Mars, you were in microgravity, so there was so little gravity that you didn't even feel it. So there was no up and no down. On Mars, there's enough gravity for you to lie down to sleep without floating away. After you get up, you check every part of the station, including the electrical system. Electricity is generated by the solar panels and an atomic reactor. You make sure that the water recycler is working. Wastewater, water in the air, and even urine are purified. They are used over and over again. The air inside the station is also recycled. Think about that. All your water and all your air you need to use again. Now you're ready to explore Mars. Long before telescopes and rockets were invented, people already knew one thing about Mars. They knew it was a reddish planet. Red reminded people of blood and war, so the Romans named the planet after Mars, their god of war. Now we know much more about Mars. We have thousands of pictures of the planet taken by probes and robots. Mars is as dry and dusty as a desert, but we know that long ago, Mars had water. There are old riverbeds cut into the Martian rock. A huge flat area may have once been an ocean. There are many extinct volcanoes. One of them is 15 miles high. It's the highest peak in the solar system, 3 times as high as Mount Everest, the highest point on Earth. The Martian atmosphere is thinner than our atmosphere. Most of it is a gas called carbon dioxide. The planet is also cold, about 70 degrees Fahrenheit below zero. The North and South poles are even colder, about 175 degrees Fahrenheit below zero. And the poles are covered with ice and by white frozen carbon dioxide. It never rains on Mars. There's not enough water in the air, but it's likely that there might be water below the surface of the planet. In some places there is a layer of ice. Below the ice, there may be liquid water. It seeps out of the walls, out of a few craters. If you can dig wells to recover the water, it will be one of your first jobs because the crew needs lots and lots of water. You're also going to need to grow some of your own food. Plants are grown in a wet, spongy material that roots can anchor to. It is moisturized with water containing all the chemicals that plants need. So everything that you need to eat, everything you need to drink, you have to bring or produce on Mars, because Mars doesn't have it. Your mission to Mars is the first of what may become many more. To help future astronauts, it is important for your crew to discover as much as possible about the planet. You will probably find that no Martian soil. The entire planet seems to be covered by a layer of particles as fine as talcum powder. It comes from meteors that crashed into Mars long ago, and from volcanic explosions that threw lava and dust clouds all over the whole planet. The dust blows about and settles on the entire Martian station. You will have to brush it off the solar collectors and make sure it doesn't get inside your spacesuit. So it's a very fine powdery dust on Mars. Now there's no plants on Mars. There's no animals, no birds, and no bugs. Now did they ever exist there long ago? Well, at some time during the history of Mars, living things may have developed on the planet. You will search for clues. You will use a Mars rover to explore the parts of the planet that are far away from the station. You will find craters that were dug out when meteorites crashed into Mars. The planet was bombarded with millions of them years ago. Some of them were huge. One of the craters is at least 200 miles across, and so long it would reach from the east coast of the United States all the way to the Rocky Mountains. As you move about in the rover, you will gather samples of rocks taken to take back to the laboratory. Very likely, some of them may be even 4 billion to 5 billion years old as the solar system. When you get to Mars, you will find things that no one could have imagined. No one knows what may be discovered, and that is one of the main reasons that we want to go there. Because we don't know what we're going to find. Until we go and explore, we won't know. After several months of exploration, you can get inside your Ascent Vehicle. It was landed on Mars long ago. You fire the engines and head out towards the Mars orbit. Then you transfer to the Mars Return Vehicle that will take that long journey home. After the Mars mission, some people dream of traveling out beyond the solar system, all the way to the stars. But stars are very far away. Before such a journey can be made, we'll need new engines. We'll have to travel at tremendous speeds for years and years. It'll take at least a century to develop them. But maybe, just maybe, your great-grandchildren might travel to the stars. For now, you'll have to stay closer to Earth. You might become an engineer on the moon base or the International Space Station. You might even set out on another mission to Mars. Now, think about that, everybody. In about 10 years, they are actually planning to do something like this, an actual mission to Mars, where we get to explore Mars and learn all about it. Now, what I encourage you to do is learn a little bit about Mars yourself. What you're going to find out is that Mars is only about half the size of the Earth, so not near as large as the Earth. But it's amazing. There are actually riverbeds and mountains and craters. So there was a lot that happened on Mars. There may have been liquid. Was it liquid water or was it another liquid that formed these riverbeds and these streams that are now gone? We can learn about what happened to Mars, and that might tell us a little bit about other planets. Also, if we can travel to Mars, we can learn how to live on other planets. That might be in our long-term future. We might not only be stuck here on Earth, we might actually travel to planets and colonize and set up stations where we can actually live. But until we can do that, we need to start with a planet like Mars that has some of the things that we need in order to live, but not all of them, so that we can learn how to survive on these other planets. So I hope you enjoyed our virtual experience today. Remember to join us on Wednesday at 1 p.m. for our Way Back Wednesdays. Bye, everybody.